Hello, my friends. I felt like we were due for a really practical episode. Okay, just something that we could learn, we could get some practical tips out of, and maybe a little outside of our normal. But I love this. Okay, so we are talking about some simple tips in resetting your gut health. Okay, you guys know I read like last year the Mind Gut Connection book, and it was super fascinating. A little science heavy, like it was pretty dense. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I don't suggest like for me, I would have never been able to have gotten through it with an audiobook. I had to actually read it in order to kind of grasp it and understand it. But anyways, really, really great book. 10 out of 10 recommend. Loved it. So I wanted to talk about why gut health matters and then ways that we can reset our digestive system with just some simple practical tips, because if you're struggling with bloating, digestion, or just want to feel a little bit more energized, this is for you. Okay, I've loved kind of working through resetting my gut. And your gut is so often called like your second brain. I'm not even kidding. That's like what it's like nicknamed, because it influences everything from your digestion to your mood to immunity, your skin health. Like it controls a lot. It really, really does. And a balanced gut microbiome really helps your body absorb nutrients, fight inflammation, and keep your entire system running smoothly. So when it's out of balance, you're going to notice some symptoms like bloating, gas, fatigue, skin issue, like literally all of it, okay? And this is why resetting your gut can have such a big impact on how you feel overall. A lot of these things, I'm saying resetting your gut like it's like a one and done situation. It's not, okay? Like this is something that you have to be consistent in. Ideally, that's something that I'm working towards, is having a really gut friendly diet that helps me stay consistent, so I don't always feel like I have to do these like detoxes, like this is not like a detox. I'm not telling you got to go juice or do something like that, okay? But these are just some helpful tips as you're thinking towards your gut health. And there is like a level of you do have to reset it because it gets used to the toxins that you're naturally putting in there all the time with your current diet. So, anyways, I have 8 tips for you, okay? And I hope this is helpful. We're gonna go fast, okay? So tip number one, um, okay, don't hate me. Water. Drinking plenty of water supports the digestion whole system, okay? And it helps kind of flush out the toxins that are built up in there. So aiming for at least 8 cups of water every single day is really helpful. I also drink a cup of peppermint tea every single day because there's a lot of gut soothing benefits and a lot of anti-inflammation benefits to peppermint tea. Okay, so I get organic peppermint tea. Sometimes I get from Trader Joe's, sometimes I order it online. Either way, you can't really go wrong. Just make sure, if you can, it's organic. And a cup of it a day. I don't put honey in it. I literally don't do anything. I just every single night have my cup of peppermint tea. And I have noticed it has helped a lot in just helping me feel a little bit lighter. Again, when you make all of these changes, it can be hard to target exactly what did the most, but I think it's kind of like a compounding effect, is when you do it all, you're going to see the most amount of change the quickest. And it's not really just like oops, I'm just going to drink some peppermint tea and magically my gut is going to feel so much better. But this is like another tip that you can work towards. And I love peppermint tea for the anti-inflammation. I use it all the time, especially when my joints started to get really like inflamed from some of the workouts I was doing. The peppermint tea helped with that. My skin, obviously, peppermint tea helped with some of the redness. I'll just literally 10 out of 10. You can't go wrong with a good cup of peppermint tea. Okay. Tip number 2, focusing on fiber rich foods. I heard a thing that was like protein's all the rage now, fiber is going to be all the rage next. So like how like 3 years ago you could like go through a conversation about health and no one said the word protein. um Now that's like impossible. Like everyone is so focused on protein, which is great. I mean, I am right there too. I focus on my protein intake all the time. And I have really, really stepped it up in that world. But people are saying, it's kind of trendy in a way. Like protein is trendy right now. And I think it's something that I will continue long after this like trend of talking about protein goes away. But people are saying that the next trend will be fiber. Okay. So we're talking about like, fiber can come from fruits and vegetables and whole grains and legumes. And what fiber does is it feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Okay. So you're going to get fiber from like all of the colorful plants. Okay. There's also like fiber supplements. I have taken fiber supplements before. I never really noticed that big of a difference. I think I get enough fiber in my natural diet because I do focus a lot on fruits and vegetables and legumes and whole grains and all the things. So I personally don't take a supplement for fiber anymore. But it is a really, really good thing because it helps with that good bacteria building up in your gut. Okay. Tip number 3, fermented foods are really, really good for your gut. Okay. So foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, these are all packed with probiotics that can help repopulate your gut with the beneficial bacteria. So the same way fiber feeds that and helps it grow, this is going to help it repopulate. So for me, I actually take a probiotic supplement. My gut got pretty messed up because when I was in high school, I was prescribed to be on an antibiotic for my acne, and I was left on it for like 2.5 years. Now, if you know anything about antibiotic, you're not supposed to be on it for more than like I'm not going to speak on how long you're supposed to be on an antibiotic. I can tell you this. I was on it for so long. They were really concerned that my gut was like completely destroyed. All right. I was on it way too long, like way too long. And they just kept prescribing it because I was getting good acne results. And I'm not sure why that doctor did not realize I shouldn't have been on an antibiotic for that long, but that's the way it worked. It's fine. I've reset a little bit. But to kind of repopulate that good bacteria, I had to focus on some yogurts, sauerkrauts. I love sauerkraut. Okay. It's the Polish in me. I'm very Polish. Love a good sauerkraut meal. I think sauerkraut is delicious. Maybe other people don't feel that way. Anyways, but I do take a probiotic also to kind of help with that. And it's been great. Tip number 4, reducing sugary foods. Okay. I feel like anytime we talk about sugar, it's you have to reduce it for any part of your body that you are trying to make healthy. Sugar and processed foods are literally feeding harmful bacteria in your body and will cause inflammation. It will cause inflammation in your skin, in your joints, in your stomach, all of the places. So swapping out junk food with whole natural options whenever possible, that will not just help your gut. Okay, that's going to help you across the board, all over the place. Like, it's just so much better for you. And I think my favorite thing to like say and to go back to is trying to eat more foods that God created versus man. Okay. So that means like, is it found in the wild? You know what I mean? Like, is this food that is like from the earth out there, like created, like would I find it in the garden versus food that like man created that or like in factories or really packaged and processed and all of that and added a lot of sugar. It's a really interesting concept and it can be kind of hard to completely take out refined sugars and processed foods. I get that. But at least trying to limit it and swap out as much as you can is going to help you in every single area of life. I like promise you, okay? Number 5, that kind of leads me to this is mindful eating. So I suck at this one. Oh, this is so hard for me, you guys. Mindful eating is when you slow down and actually chew your food thoroughly. It sounds so stupid, but I look at meals like it's a task. Like I know I need to eat dinner, so I'm going to eat and move on, instead of it being like part of my life. You know what I mean? Like I do not eat mindfully at all. But the reason why you're supposed to is because it helps your digestive enzymes work better and will reduce bloating. So digestive system starts in your mouth with the saliva. Like your saliva actually helps break down food. And the more you chew it, the more your body's going to be able to absorb good nutrients, and it's just better. And so like, I remember this is TMI, but here we go. When I was younger, my mom made corn like with every single meal. I kid you not, I ate corn probably every single meal. I cannot eat corn now because I hate it so much. It was just like the go-to vegetable. And to get through it, because I've always hated corn, I would put the corn in my mouth and then take like a sip of water and swallow the corn whole. And then when I'd go to the bathroom, all of the corn would come out like fully whole. Like my body did not digest any of the corn. It just went through the body and it was gone. Okay. Now that might be a little like TMI, but I'm being serious, is like my body didn't get any of the nutrients from the corn at all. It just like was passing through. So practicing mindful eating is really important. Number 6, as crazy as it sounds, your stress directly impacts the gut, okay? The gut brain axis is super real and the gut and brain are connected. So when you feel stressed, your gut is reacting to your stress, which is crazy. And that's why the mind gut connection book is like so interesting, because it's just full of like all of the science behind that. And I, trust me, did not understand like half of it, but it was really interesting to just like have all of this science talking about like why the mind and gut are so closely connected. But your stress like really impacts the inflammation that can happen in your gut. So when you're feeling stressed, working through prayer, meditation, deep breathing, or gentle movement to calm your nervous system, super helpful. And I have talked a lot about the nervous system in the past episodes, about how to calm it, how to regulate it, all of that, because to me, that has been really, really groundbreaking in my health journey, is managing my cortisol levels, managing my stress, helping regulate my nervous system, all of that. Really, really important. So that's important for also the inflammation in your gut. Okay, trust me. Number 7, same thing with this. Sleep can actually disrupt your gut microbiome and your digestion. So if you're eating too close to bed and then go to sleep, your gut is not digesting things the way that it should. So sleeping for 7 to 9 hours every single night, super important. That's going to help. But then also making sure you're not eating ideally 4 hours before bed. That is ideal, because your body is going to digest everything before you go to sleep. And then you're not having to worry about that mind-gut connection of digestion while you're sleeping. Like I get all the time, like if I eat too close to bedtime, my Oura ring freaking knows and tells me and says, did you have a heavy meal last night right before bed? And I'm like, yes, I did. I'm so sorry. But it's really true. Like they are directly connected and it is very impactful. And number 8, I highly suggest bone broth and some like just like a gentle cleanse with bone broth is so healthy. I love this. Okay. And I'm not saying cleanse like you're only drinking bone broth. I'm saying including bone broth in what you're drinking. There was a week where I did, instead of coffee in the morning, I did bone broth instead, and then did the same at night. So in the morning and evening, nothing else changed in my routine. I just switched to bone broth under the guidance of a doctor, and it was great. Loved it so much. It was so healthy and helpful. And one, it helped with like caffeine withdrawals and stuff like that, because I had been going through the caffeine stuff before I switched to decaf. And that was part of why I switched to decaf, is because I noticed caffeine withdrawals there, and I was like, I don't want to be reliant on coffee to live my life. So anyways, that's a little tangent for another day. But adding in bone broth to help with that, I don't drink bone broth every day. I know people who do and they love it, and I'm sure that there's really great benefits to it. I just only do it when I feel like my gut needs a little bit of a reset. I'll switch out my morning and evening beverage for some bone broth for like a week or so. And what that will do is it'll help reset the gut lining. Honestly, love it. I actually like the taste of bone broth, so it doesn't bother me, but these are my 8 simple tips to help you reset your gut. Naturally. And I hope you try a few of these, see how much better your body feels, because it's your mind and gut connected. I know that it can be kind of intimidating to know what actually works, but I'm telling you, these are just like healthy lifestyle practices too, where if you do this, your gut is going to thank you, but there's other parts of your body that will too, whether it's your joints, your skin, whatever it is, it's going to be really helpful. So if you loved the episode, will you please leave me 5 stars? That would be so helpful. Follow along on the Instagram, my personal Instagram, all the things. All of it is linked in the show notes, and I'm really grateful for you. I hope that this has been a fun little episode. Learned lots, all the good things, and I'll see y'all next week.